Hello everybody, it's Saitama here, the All-Father. How you all doing today? Today's video is going to be different, I guess, or the same. Basically, if you read the title, as I know most of you don't when you come to my Twitch streams, as I'm sure you also do the same when you come to my YouTube channel, then let me explain to you what we're doing. Story time. Yes, that was me basically being condescending. My children, you know better, start reading. Pick up a book, please. Anyways, today's video is about how I and Emily met. You see, it all started in a time where I was 18. I had just started university, and I had to go and graduate from my high school in October. Basically 5 months after I had already officially graduated from high school. Reason for it, my high school thought it was a good idea and that people wanted to come back to that place. Newsflash, we don't. And for those that do, I pity you. Now, if you want to see how I looked like in that time, just take a look at this. Look at this strapping, handsome young man once it focuses. Look at that. Look at that strapping young man. Totally not in any shape or form, hasn't gained any weight. Now look at me now. Ah, yes. Look at all the fat. Anyways, point being, that's not the point. I had to go to convocation. So let's now reel it back, because storytelling is all about going into the past. 2 weeks before that, I had asked out somebody, and this is true because it's on my Facebook, so it must be legitimate. I had asked out someone, but I got turned down because they weren't straight. Fair enough. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but basically that was the moment Emily knew I existed as a human being. Now, what she thought of me doesn't matter. What matters is she wanted to know my height. I didn't get up. So basically, point of the story is, when you want to know the height of somebody, Emily, you actually gotta stick it through, even if I decide to sit there for an hour and a half. She didn't stick it through, so she didn't get to know how tall I was. Big mistake, because she's taller than me, by the way. Now let's fast forward to the day of an exam. This actually matters because she came into this exam about an hour and a half late. Can't remember how many hours late, but definitely not like 2 hours late. Either way, either an hour and a half, so halfway through the exam. Oh, by the way, she got a better score than I did. And what matters is what comes after this. I remember when she enters, she had the ugliest sweater I've ever seen in my life. I wanted to burn that. I still want to burn that. I don't know where it is though, so maybe it burnt itself. I'm hoping it did. I love you, Emily. So, why is this all important for backstory? Well, the day I met Emily was the day I was supposed to go for convocation, basically graduation for high school. So this is all tying in. You see how it's all intertwining? Yes, this is good stuff, good story. So after the test is done, I have the options of two things. Either I go to convocation and get there early, or get home and then, eventually go to convocation reluctantly to pick up my diploma and everything else. Or, alternatively, I could chill at the Harry Potter Club. Now, mind you, at the time in which I had decided to go to the Harry Potter Club, which, by the way, I did, I had not read any Harry Potter books. I was not an avid fan. I knew Professor Snape, Harry Potter, Hermione Granger, and Ron. That's it. That's all I knew. And Dumbledore. Right, Dumbledore. I knew those people. I probably knew a couple of other characters like Hagrid and stuff like that, but beyond that, really, I'm just trying to mention, it's not really too relevant, except it kind of is, I guess. But we'll see. It all depends. Point being, I remember being confused. So when you go into the main section of the university, which is basically the breezeway, as we like to call it, or alternatively just a section where all the students could chill and hang out, because it's a nice little lobby area with a lot of benches, a lot of seats, a lot of charging stations for your laptops, phones, things like that. I figured, yeah, bet. But in between that hallway to that breezeway, I was trying to figure out, okay, where is it? I have no idea. And so I'm just like chilling outside, trying to figure out, what am I gonna do? Am I just gonna bail and just go to the convocation because I can't find the Harry Potter Club meet? Or should I just, you know, see it through to the end? Well, luckily for me, the girl with the ugly sweater walked out of the room and looked at me and said, "Do you need anything?" To which I'm just flabbergasted, because there's this woman that is just like being the rudest thing I've ever met. And I'm just, at this point, kind of terrified because, contrary to popular belief, but I get terrified too. So I just go, I'm just looking for the Harry Potter Club. To which then she tones down her voice and she says, "Oh, it's here." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'm just gonna sit on a couch now and be quiet." So that's what I did. Eventually, I met some cool people. We started talking, and when I mean we started talking, I mean not me and Emily. So we decide to make wands. Wands, yes, Harry Potter wands. The one thing that I'm really bad at, and I don't understand why I did it in the first place, but I did make myself a wand. And luckily for all of you, I can show you that darndest creation that I wish I never created. It looks awful. Anyways, this is my wand. As you can tell from its refined piece of sculpture-ness, it's awful. It's just awful. It looks like trash and it's falling apart. Now, we'll get to the other wands in a moment. But basically, it wasn't till near the end of the entire session where I noticed this one girl, and she is the most messy person in the world, and I really wanted to tell her that. But instead, what I did was I came up to her. She had black paint on her forehead, and I was just like, "Let me get that off of you." Because I just couldn't stand it. It was really bothering me. Yeah, you expected me to say, yeah, she was majestically beautiful or something. No, I wasn't really focused on that. I was focused on the paint that was on her forehead. And I got rid of it, and it felt so good. And then I was forced to talk to her, so I started talking to her. So just to give you an idea, that's Emily. She made this wand. Now, if you take a look in at the difference, this actually looks pretty good. This looks like some kid walked in, decided, feathers, and then walked out. That's pretty much it. This actually looks like she took her time with it and actually knew what the frig she was doing. Whereas I made this little stump, she actually made an intricate pattern, and I was like, oh, well, I didn't think about that. So yeah, basically we ended up talking. We just talked, and before I knew it, it was like maybe 5 o'clock, maybe past 5. And at that point, I knew I was going to be late for convocation because it started at 6:30. And if you guys don't know, if it's 5 o'clock then, and I got to get to my convocation by 6:30, but it takes me an hour and a half just to get home, let alone to my convocation, do the math. How long will that take me? I'm going to be late by 30 minutes. Yeah, there you go. So basically, I was late for convocation because a girl with paint on her forehead made me late because okay, I shouldn't blame her. I have this really compulsive need to clean things. So yeah, there we go. So after that, basically we start chatting, and she thinks that I know Harry Potter because I'm just basically playing it. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm kind of playing it. 2 weeks later, we're dating. Yeah, I'm going to skip forward. Basically, we just met up a whole bunch of times because we talked through Facebook. We talked on mainly Facebook, but sometimes text, and eventually just, bam, we're dating because she invites me to her dorm not once but twice. On the second time, that's when we end up having our first kiss, and, we just decide, okay, this is it. Well, I decide this is it. She later asked me, are we dating? So what are we? And I'm thinking, what are we? I thought we were gonna start dating, but okay. Let me spell it out to you. I think we're dating. You let me know, though. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically the story. Have we met? how we started dating. If you guys want me to go more in depth on how we started dating, I can always do that video, but I'm going to leave that for another day. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is Saitama signing out. Stay salty out there, and praise the All-Father. Peace, guys.